Hello. Okay, so we are finishing Act 5 of The Taming of the Shrew today. And this is actually only going to be about 19 minutes total. I'm going to go ahead and do scene 1 and cut the video and then do a second video for scene 2. Okay, so that is what we're doing. In this first scene, we are back in Padua, and we're going to see Biondello and Lucentio and Bianca, and we're going to see kind of where things get to with them and this idea of Lucentio and Bianca going ahead and getting married. And then we know, which the characters in the play do not know this, but we know that Petruchio and Catherine are coming in with the real Vincentio. We also know that the fake Vincentio is hanging out in the house that is supposed to be Lucentio's house. But remember that Tranio is still dressed up like Lucentio, and the real Lucentio, he's been busy being the schoolmaster person. So all of that's still going on. So just be aware as we start this act, this first scene in this act, there's a lot of disguise and people not looking the way they're supposed to be and a lot of confusion as a result. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start listening to Act 5. This is on page 195 if you have this book, or remember the website is shakespeare.folger.edu. Okay, so that's the website you need to go to so that you can read along. Okay. Weird music.
And swiftly, sir, for the priest is ready. I fly, Biondello, but they may chance to need thee at home. Therefore leave us.
Nay, Faith, I'll see the church of your back and then come back to my master's as soon as I can.
I marvel Cambio comes not all this while.
Sir!
Okay, so let's pause for a second. So what's just happened is Biondello actually helped Lucentio and Bianca meet up. He told them like when the priest was going to be at the church to go marry them, and they've just gone to get married. So they're actually getting married, and nobody knows, secret wedding. And then he exits, and now Grimmio's, noting that, it's weird that Cambio, the school teacher, is not, hasn't come out all this time. Okay. Now we have Petruchio, Catherine, Vincentio, and Grumio and their traveling companions come into the scene.
Here's the door. This is Lucentio's house.
Lucentio's
My father's
house.
stairs more toward the marketplace. Thither must I, and here I leave you, sir.
You shall not choose but drink before you go. I think I shall command your welcome here, and by all likelihood some cheer is toward.
So Vincentio, this is the real Vincentio, Lucentio's actual dad. He has come, and he's telling Petruchio, like, hey, why don't you guys come in for a drink? I can say, like, you'll be welcome in this house. It's my son's house. It's my house. And so for sure, come in and get some stuff. And so they're knocking on the door now to be given entrance into what Vincentio thinks is his home in Padua.
They are busy within. You were best knock louder. What's he that knocks as it would be down again?
So that's the merchant who's playing Vincentio. So we have real Vincentio at the door of Lucentio's house. This is the house that he would be staying in. He would think that he has like supremacy in this house. Vincentio is Lucentio's dad. So anything that Lucentio is doing, well, daddy's paying for it. Lucentio is a kid who's still in college. And so daddy's money is going. And so Vincentio, his dad, is on the doorstep knocking for entry into the house that really he's paying for. And the merchant is upstairs on the balcony saying, who's knocking at the door? The merchant who's playing Vincentio.
Is Signor Lucentio within, sir?
He is within, sir, but not to be spoken withal.
What if a man bring him £100 or two to make merry withal?
Keep your £100 to yourself. He shall need none so long as I live.
Nay, I told you your son was well beloved in Padua. Do you hear, sir? To leave frivolous circumstances, I pray you tell Signor Lucentio that his father is come from Pisa and is here at the door to speak with him.
Thou liest. His father is come from Pisa and is here looking out of the window.
Art thou his father?
Aye, sir, so his mother says, if I may believe her.
Why, how now, gentlemen? Why, this is flat knavery to take upon you another man's name.
Lay hands on the villain. I believe it means to cozen somebody in this city under my countenance.
Okay, so they're trying to gain entry into the house, and Vincentio says like, see if Lucentio will come out for somebody who'll give him like 100, whatever money, the fake Vincentio, the merchant, says, he doesn't need money. I pay for everything, and he does. And Petruchio says, well, maybe you'll open the door to Lucentio's father. And the merchant says, he's not his father. I am. And then they're like, what? And he's like, well, it's what my wife told me. So, what? And so everybody is like, what is happening? And then fake Vincentio, the merchant, he's like, get him. He's trying to act like he's me. Now this merchant knows that he's faking a thing. I don't know why he's like asking for them to arrest like the real Vincentio, but that's kind of what's happening. So that's hilarious. Biondello comes in. Biondello is actually one of the younger servants of like Lucentio's family. So, the real Vincentio will recognize Biondello.
I've seen them in the church together. God send them good shipping. But who is here? Mine old master Vincentio. Now we are undone and brought to nothing.
Come hither, crack hemp.
I hope I may choose, sir.
Come hither, you rogue. What, have you forgot me?
Forgot you? No, sir, I could not forget you, for I never saw you before in all my life.
What? You notorious villain, didst thou never see thy master's father, Vincentio?
What? My worshipful old master? Yes, marry, sir. See, where he looks out of the window.
Is so indeed.
He starts beating him.
Help! Help! He's a man that will murder me! Help, son! Help, Signor Baptista!
Prithee, Kate, let's stand aside and see the end of this controversy.
Sir, were you that offered to be my servant?
What am I?
So right now, Baptista comes out and Tranio comes out. Remember, Tranio is dressed up like Lucentio and is pretending to be Lucentio. He also is Lucentio's manservant. So like Vincentio, the real Vincentio knows Tranio. So that's not going to be great, but they're coming out like just talking, chatting. What's this noise? And like Vincentio's like beating Biondello because sometimes it's funny in plays. Like we don't want people to be hurt, but it's hysterical to think of somebody being like beat in the street. That's funny. But nobody was harmed. It's just pretend, guys.
Sir, me, what are you, sir? Oh, immortal gods, oh, fine villain! A silken doublet, a velvet hose, a scarlet cloak, and a copperton hat! Oh, I am undone! I am undone! While I play the good husband at home, my son and my servant spend all of the university!
Now, what's the matter?
What is the man, lunatic?
Sir, you seem a sober, ancient gentleman by your habit, but your words show you a madman. Why, sir, what concerns it you if I wear pearl and gold? I thank my good father I am able to maintain it.
Thy father? Oh, villain, he is a sailmaker in Bergamo!
You mistake, sir. You mistake, sir. Pray, what do you think is his name?
His name?
Okay, so Tranio comes out and he's all dressed up. He has on all of Lucentio's clothes. He looks like Vincentio's son. Like he's wearing stuff that Lucentio wears. And so, Vincentio's like, what are you doing in those clothes? And he's like, of course I wear the clothes my father brought me, And he's like, your father's a cell maker. Like he's, this peasant. I know who your dad is. And remember that Tranio is still getting Baptista to agree to this wedding between himself, Lucentio, and Bianca. So he's trying to play the part. So he's like, what do you mean? So he's kind of still, he knows that this is his master, like the guy he serves, it's his dad, but he has to play the part for Baptista. So he's kind of between a rock and a hard place.
As if I knew not his name. I have brought him up ever since he was 3 years old, and his name is Tranio.
Away, mad ass! His name is Lucentio. He is mine only son and heir to the lands of me, Signor Vincentio.
Lucentio? Oh, he has murdered his master. Lay hold on him, I charge you in the Duke's name. Oh, my son, my son. Tell me, thou villain, where is my son, Lucentio?
Call forth an officer.
Okay, so at this point, because Tranio is like saying like, I'm Lucentio, I'm the son of Vincentio, the real Vincentio is like, oh my lord, he has killed my son and he is pretending to be him. Somebody get the police. So they're calling the police.
Carry this mad knave to the jail. Father Bautista, I charge you see that he be forthcoming.
Carry me to the jail?
Hey, officer, he shall not go to prison.
Talk not, Signor Gremio. I say he shall go to prison.
Take heed, Signor Baptista, lest you be co...
Baptista knows Tranio. He doesn't know the real Vincentio. So they're about to arrest the real Vincentio and put him in jail. And he's a nobleman? That's not good.
be cashed in this business. I dare swear this is the right Vincentio.
Swear if thou darest.
Nay, I dare not swear in it.
Then thou wouldst best say that I am not Lucentio.
Yes, I know thee to be Signor Lucentio.
Away with the dotard, to the jail with him. The strangers may be hailing and abused. Oh, monstrous villain.
Biondello,
we are
Lucentio,
spoiled,
and
under
Bianca
he is.
come in.
Deny him for swearing, or else we are all undone.
Pardon, sweet father.
Okay, so Biondello has gone and gotten Lucentio and Bianca. They just got married. Like, they're fresh out of the church. The contract has been signed. They are officially married at this point. Lucentio is actually dressed correctly right now. He actually went to the wedding in his normal apparel. So he doesn't look like Cambio. He looks like Lucentio. He's in correct lordly apparel. And so Biondello went to get Lucentio and Bianca. And Biondello's like, oh, we're spoiled. Deny your father, is what Biondello says. But why? They're married now. Lucentio and Bianca, the marriage has happened. And so Lucentio and Bianca walk up to the real Vincentio and kneel and ask his pardon.
Lives my sweet son.
Pardon, dear father.
How wast thou offended? Where is Lucentio?
Here's Lucentio, right son to the right Vincentio, that have by marriage made thy daughter mine, while counterfeit supposes bleared thine eye.
He is packing with a witness to deceive us all.
Where is that damned villain Tranio that faced and braved me in this matter so? Why, tell me, is not this my Cambio?
Cambio is changed into Lucentio.
Love wrought these miracles. Bianca's love made me exchange my state with Tranio, while he'd bear my countenance in the town. And happily I have arrived at the last unto the wished haven of my bliss. What Tranio did, myself enforced him to. Then pardon him, sweet father, for my sake.
I'll slit the villain's nose that would have sent me to the jail. But do you hear, sir? Have you married my daughter without asking my goodwill? Fear not, Baptista. We will content you. Go to. But I will in to be revenged for this villainy. And I to sound the depth of this knavery.
Look not pale, Bianca. Thy father will not frown.
My cake is dough, but I'll in among the rest, out of hope of all, but my share of the feast.
Okay, so as they exit, Vincentio tells, Baptista's like, oh my gosh, I've been lied to. This is Cambio. And Vincentio says, fear not. Everything that you have heard about Lucentio is correct, and I will stand behind my son and his marriage to your daughter. Baptista's like, ugh, but I'm annoyed. I was lied to. And they leave. And then Lucentio says, don't look pale, Bianca. Don't be afraid. Your father will not frown. Like, we actually do have quite a bit of money. The dads are going to talk, and after they're done being mad because they were tricked, really everything's okay. So, and then Gremio's the pantaloon, the old guy that was going after Bianca. He's like, ugh, I lost. Bummer. Guess I'll have a good meal at the feast. Okay, so that's most of the Bianca and Lucentio situation has kind of come to like that plot line has mostly gotten to where it's going to be. Let's see how we end this scene.
Husband, let's follow to see the end of this ado.
First, kiss me, Kate, and we will.
What? In the midst of the street?
What, art thou ashamed of me?
No, sir, God forbid, but ashamed to kiss.
Why, then, let's home again. Come, Sirrah, let's away.
Nay, I will give thee a kiss. Now pray thee, love, stay.
Settle down.
Is not this well? Come, my sweet Kate. Better once than never, for never's too late.
Okay, so good Lord, they took a really long time to kiss there. Anyway, okay, so Catherine and Petruchio are like at the end of the scene. They're watching this whole scene. They think it's hilarious. Catherine is loving this whole situation with her sister. She is thinking it's great that something happened. Her dad's not happy, and Bianca is the one to blame. So she's like, whoo, let's follow and see what happens. And Petruchio is like, first kiss me. And she's like, in the middle of the street, like in public, like what the heck? You know, PDA is bad. And he says, yes, in the middle of the street. And he says, are you ashamed of me? And she's like, no, but just afraid to kiss in public. That's not a socially acceptable practice. Matter of fact, it probably isn't really that much in our world either. It's not necessarily a cool thing for, you know, PDA to happen a lot. It gets weird, right? So she's like, just ashamed to kiss. And he says, well, I mean, if you're ashamed, well, we can just go back home. And then she's like, no, let's not do that. I want to see, I want to be around people. So she does kiss him. So she acquiesces, you know, and we get this idea. She even says, after she kisses him, she says, now pray thee, love, stay. So even the way she's addressing him, kind of, it feels like her feelings about him have evolved in some way. You know, we had this idea from the very beginning that they're kind of well matched when it comes to intellect, when it comes to wit, when it comes to even their senses of humor and things. Now, Catherine has been kind of misspoken of and misthought of for like years of her life. And it seems like there's finally somebody who kind of gets her, who kind of sees her. Now, on his side, he has wanted her to be more civil, to instead of raging about everything in the world, to try to act a little bit civilized when stuff's not going your way. And she wasn't so fond of that to begin with, but she seems to have kind of found her way. And so now, you know, he says, well, is not this well? Come, my sweet Kate, better once than never, for never too late. So you get this idea that they've really found like a sweet spot in their relationship. Like they're both kind of happy with the decision that they've made. They have kind of become united. They've become a bit of a team, which is kind of cool. So that's awesome. That's where we end scene 1 for Act 5 of The Taming of the Shrew. We've got one more scene to go.